Next on Worcester News Tonight, raising the legal age to buy tobacco in Worcester. What city councilors are doing to make sure it happens. And a bald eagle unable to fly a month ago is nursed back to health and today released into the wild. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McCone. We begin tonight in Uxbridge, the site of a substance abuse forum as the fight against opioids continues. Town's Coalition for a Community of Caring and others putting on the event Tuesday at Uxbridge High School. The Worcester County District Attorney was in attendance, as was State Representative Kevin Kuros and members of Uxbridge Police and Fire. The forum included families who have dealt with addiction and a panel discussion on the dangers of opioids and the importance of properly disposing of prescription drugs.
The first place where many of our children are getting addicted is right from our medicine chests. So please be cognizant of that, and just keep your eyes open for what was prescribed with all good intentions could be that first step to addiction.
The event was free and open to the public. Worcester's Board of Health this week pushing forward a measure to raise the legal age to buy tobacco products. The move seems to have support from city councilors, but not everyone in the city is on board. Andy Madison has the story.
It's a habit some smokers say started when they were young.
I actually started smoking when I was 10 years old.
I've been smoking, stealing cigarettes out of my dad's ashtray at 12, started smoking at 14.
In Worcester, health officials want to change that and think raising the age to buy cigarettes could help.
The longer you can delay first use of tobacco or hopefully prevent first use altogether, the more likelihood you're not going to have somebody who's going to have a long-term addiction.
Earlier this week, the city's Board of Health discussed raising the age to 21, a move several dozen cities across the state are also considering. State lawmakers also introduced a similar bill. Some city leaders feel the move would benefit the younger generation.
What are the health factors to this? How can we continue to help support our youth and our young adults before they get into this horrible habit that eventually has really significant health implications?
While others we spoke with had mixed feelings.
If you raise the age, it's not going to make a difference because they're still going to smoke weed the same way they're going to smoke cigarettes, you know what I mean?
My kids, that means they can't smoke until they're 21, and I don't got no problem with that.
You can have your license and have your freedom and drive at 18. You should be able to smoke.
Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.
Meantime, a committee of state lawmakers who went to Colorado to learn about recreational marijuana says it has serious concerns about the prospect of its legalization here. In a report released today, the panel takes no official stand on legalization, but it says taxes included in the plan would likely fall short of covering regulatory and social costs attached to legalization. It also outlines public safety concerns, including the likelihood that a black market for marijuana will persist even if the drug is sold legally. The committee recommends steps be taken should voters approve a likely November ballot question that would allow the recreational use and possession of up to an ounce of marijuana for those 21 and older. Worcester State Senators Harriet Chandler and Mike Moore were part of the 7-man member committee. 2 children killed in a house fire in Orange over the weekend have now been identified. Investigators say the victims are 8-year-old Victoria Rose Gaignard and 6-year-old Leanna Shea Cileone. Lena lived in the home while Victoria was visiting. Lena's father, who was severely burned trying to rescue the girls, is still fighting for his life. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. It's already in Westboro, but could the southern fast food chain Chick-Fil-A be coming to Worcester now as well? A public hearing notice has been filed for 70 Gold Star Boulevard. That's the site of the old Millbrook restaurant. Fast food chain applying to the zoning board for appeals of special permits and relief from certain requirements. Along with the Westboro location, the fast food chain also recently opened a restaurant in Framingham as well. A return to the wild for a bald eagle. The injured bird was found in a residential neighborhood in January, and it took quite an effort to nurse the eagle back to health. Our Patricia Nicholas was there when the eagle was set free this afternoon and has our story.
A 6-year-old male bald eagle was released back into the wild at the Wachusett Reservoir Tuesday morning. West Boylston Police Sergeant Anthony Papandrea found the injured eagle in its front yard in January.
You know, I didn't want to bother him, but the curiosity got to me. And I walked over to take another picture, and he hopped away. And I kind of suspected something wasn't right because he didn't fly away.
Mass Wildlife brought the eagle to Tufts Wildlife Clinic. Veterinarian Maureen Murray helped to rehabilitate the bird. She says he suffered a dislocated bone in his shoulder, which is typically a collision injury.
3-week healing time for an orthopedic injury or a bony injury in a bird is pretty typical. And then as important as that injury healing is us getting that bird back into physical shape, a state of fitness that will allow the bird to fly strongly and be able to do what it needs to do to survive.
Mass Wildlife says the bald eagle population has increased steadily in the Commonwealth. A century ago, there were no eagles in the state. They made a comeback through a program which brought and raised juveniles from other states. Currently, there are 51 pairs in the Commonwealth.
So you'll find them in remote areas away from people, and at the same time, other birds have become quite acclimated to humans, and we have a nest in someone's backyard and in a cemetery, and so they're pretty much turning up all over the place.
There are ID bans on the bald eagle, so if the bird does stay in the area, Mass Wildlife will know if he's successfully assimilated to the wild. They say they have high hopes.
He looks like he's a strong flyer, and we all have our fingers crossed.
We hope we don't see him back in our clinic ever again.
Patricia Nicholas, Worcester, News Tonight.
The Harlem Globetrotters are back in Worcester for their 90th anniversary World Tour. Tuesday, player Juan Verscher was at McGrath Elementary School talking to students about bullying prevention. This is part of the Globetrotters' Ambassador of Goodwill program. The ABCs of bullying prevention focuses on action, bravery, and compassion. The program involves players talking about the 3 letters and tools kids can use on a daily basis to reduce bullying.
I think it's a great message. I think the kids are using it across the country because actually schools now have anti-bullying programs, so we kind of reinforce what they're teaching the kids as well. So it's a great program. It's something that the Globetrotters is known for, and it's working well.
The Harlem Globetrotters are playing this weekend at the DCU Center. Their first game is Friday at 7 p.m. and the second one is Saturday at 1. A world champion boxer headlines a rally to prepare Worcester students for the MCAS exams. The rally was actually organized by high school students. Our Brittany Schaefer has the story.
3-time world champion boxer Jose Antonio Rivera visits Worcester Technical High School Tuesday. The Worcester native had 3 important lessons for students before taking their MCAS exams.
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Work hard. Work hard. Never give up. Never give up.
More than 500 Belmont and Chandler Elementary School students were cheered on at the 4th annual MCAS rally. The National Honor Society at Worcester Tech organized fundraisers to get Rivera and the elementary students together.
Having Jose back is a great thing because all the underclassmen should be exposed to someone who isn't afraid of limits.
It shows the kids they can be more powerful and accomplish the bigger tasks in life, especially MCAS, since they need to hit a 240.
Along with Rivera's speech, the high school students performed dances and skits to help prepare 3rd and 4th graders for testing.
My reason for being here and talking to the kids is just kind of like motivate them to not just focus on this MCAS test and do good here, but want to do good in school and also go to college and just dream to become whatever it is that you have.
Overcoming challenges was a part of Rivera's message. He came to Worcester when he was 16 after his parents died and became a professional boxer by 19.
I was able to accomplish 3-time world boxing champion here in the city of Worcester. So it's kind of like just letting these kids know I'm from where they're from. So no goal is too high, no dream is too big.
Some of the elementary school students will be taking the MCAS for the first time next month. They heard the number 240 repeatedly. It's the score for proficient, and it's what students will need to graduate when they take the test again in high school.
All of those students that performed have already passed their MCAS exam, and most likely they got over a 240 themselves, so they've already achieved success. So they're really showing the younger students that this is possible.
Make sure you make it happen. 240.
Brittany Schaefer with